okay, we're going to look at the translator Master Translation Dialog. That's what comes up when you select a single instrument and want to convert it. So let's take a look. Here we go. Now we're converting out of Giga, so keep that in mind. There are three important things to fill out whenever you're converting anything. And one is the type of format you want to convert into. You can see how many are dealt with here. The program folder and the sample folder. Those are the three things that are pretty mandatory that you figure out that you're going to do. So in this case, we're going to convert into Giga into Contact. So the program folder is where the NKI files will go, and the sample folder is where the WAV files are going to go. Since we're converting out of Giga, the samples are all in the gig file itself, so they don't exist as WAV files, so Contact can't reference them, so it has to make new samples. Now, something that is important to understand is that when you're converting in bulk, which, let's do it like that. When you're converting into bulk, there's a different dialog. This isn't the Master Translation Dialog, but you can choose what you're converting out of. And what's going to happen is, let's get back to the Master Translation Dialog. For the program folder, when you're converting in bulk, what's going to happen, this is the Finder window, is that let's say you're converting from Contact and you're doing it in bulk, and you've got all these different instruments in there, and you're converting to EXS. The folder tree, this whole folder tree, Contact, File, Demo Content, Instruments, and then loops and multis and samples, etc., that's all going to be duplicated beneath the folder that you choose. So we're going to convert into this folder, and all the NKIs will be in a tree. The sample folder, if it's different, it's going to do the same thing. Now let's say let's explain these checkboxes here. The two most important ones are set location same as source and set samples location same as program. So let's say I've got this set differently, like to video material. Now I can say, well, I want the location to be the same as the source, and that's where the gig file is in a folder called Giga. So just by checking it, you can do that. And of course, when it's checked, it'll remember that, and then this is grayed out because of course you can't make that choice. Set samples location same as program, that's sort of the same thing, only it just applies to this. So if you check it, guess what? It goes to Giga again, and then you can't select that. Copy existing samples to sample folder, that's a little bit esoteric. Now it doesn't apply to this conversion because we're converting Giga into Contact, and there is no existing samples. They're all in the gig file, and Contact can't reference them. But if we were converting into, let's take this folder again. If we're converting Contact to EXS, all these NKI files will become EXS files. But if we have this checked, I mean, if it's unchecked, maybe I should put it to you that way. It's going to use, and that's by default, it's going to use all the samples that the Contact file, it's not going to make new ones. And that's by default because the majority amount of the time you want to use the same samples, so you don't have this duplicate set of samples. But there's cases to where if you want to clean things up, etc., you might want to check that, and then it'll make a new set of samples. It'll copy them directly from here into the new location that you set. So that's pretty handy. So when you're set to convert, you just essentially click OK, and then it'll convert it. I want to just go through all the formats that Translator supports. I'll be quick on this. You can see it's divided up into 6 categories: software, hardware, drum machines, workstations, slice formats, and single sounds. Software samplers, you can see how many are supported. You've got Contact, EXS24, SOC, those are one of the most popular ones. Camel Audio's Alchemy. I just want to make a note about Alchemy. Alchemy imports SFZ, but it doesn't pay attention to all the parameters that SFZ offers. When we convert in Alchemy, we convert directly into the ACP format that they support. So it's a much better conversion than if you just import SFZs. You have independence, you have structure, you have NNXT, you have Halion. Something I want to mention about Halion, we convert into Halion version 1 and version 2. Halion 3 and up to Halion 5, they will load the Halion 2 files. They will import the Halion 2 files. We don't write native Halion 3, 4, and 5 files because Steinberg encrypts them all, which is really awful. To select the type of version you want to convert to, this is a very important button. It's advanced. And you can see, you can select Halion 1, and you see it changes there. Halion 2, Halion 2.0.3, that was the last 2.0, but it's different. And then there's a Halion 3 XML format. You really don't want to use that, but we put it in there for completion. It only records the samples and the tunings, and that's it. So really, that's the main thing you want to go to. And you can see it's the same with the other formats. We convert into Mach 5.3, but it's Mach 5.1, 2, and 3. So whatever you select on that, it changes it there. And emulator, sample tank, and by the way, we'll be supporting sample tank 3 fairly shortly, as of the time of this video. Sound font, DLS, which is really rare, but we put it in anyway. Pulsar, Mesa, which is an Akai thing, reactor map files. The next two, you won't see it in your version, but this is our version, and they're appeared in here. They're all private things that we've done for those companies. Solaris is actually a hardware sampler. I don't know what it's doing there, but DirectWave is another nice unit, and iRompler is this thing that probably nobody knows about, but a guy put out this really nice sampler and then abandoned support for it. The hardware samplers are Kai and Roland and XV5080, the emulators, and Sonic, and again you can see you can change the different instruments, and then Kurzweil, which is handy. We have drum machines, which are the MPC. Want to look at this: the 2000, the 3000, the 1000, S5000, the MPC 5000, and we also support the new Renaissance, which is really nice. We Roland XV50, MV8000, battery 1, 2, and 3. You can see Ableton drum racks, which is really nice. Drum core, ASRX, and LM4. Now the workstations we're really proud of because these are the main keyboards that people buy nowadays. We have the Phantom, the Motif, and as you can see, it's all of them. Classic, ES, XS, XF, X, MOF. The Tyros, which is a really kind of a theater organ type of keyboard, but it's very expensive and very powerful. It's not very professional. People don't carry it around. It's too big. The ill-fated, discontinued Alesis Fusion, and the Korg Cronus, which also includes Triton, M3, and of course that. Slice formats, Acid, Apple Loop, Recycle 1, not Recycle 2, nobody can write those except Recycle, but we convert into Recycle 1. Stylus RMX, don't forget that. B Creator, Chop Shop, which is the MPC 5000 sample format. Single sounds are WAV file, AF file, CAF, FLAC, this should say FLAC, MPC, OGG, these three we just started supporting, which is nice. Korg KSF and MPC SND. A couple other things that I want to mention are you can go directly to the preferences, the main general preferences, and from here you can launch that without closing the dialog. And also, just want to note this, bias, we'll cover that in another video, but that's really handy to alter parameters midstream. So if you want, for example, all your loops off, you can say, okay, I'm going to enable it and just turn off all the loops. And also you can say, well, all the sample ends, I am going to add -1 to it. If you find that the loop points aren't turning out right, you can set it that way. So when you click OK on that, what will happen to this is that there are 2 biases enabled. And so that way you know that there's some bias enabled. Let me turn them off because I don't want them on. I'll clear all of them. Get out of that, and you can see there's no warnings. This is good. And then once you're ready to convert, you can just convert.